So now, after doing the calculation of range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, now let's do the calculation of standard deviation. Let's understand standard deviation with the help of numerical questions and their solutions. So, as we have already discussed quartile deviation and standard deviation and mean deviation, for which we have also understood how we will calculate the coefficient of quartile deviation and mean deviation. Now, let's understand how to do the calculation of standard deviation. So, formula for calculating standard deviation is under root of sigma d square divided by n. So this is the formula of calculating standard deviation. We also denote standard deviation with the sign of sigma. Okay, so this is the sign of sigma. This is the sign of sigma. We denote standard deviation with sigma also. And formula for calculating standard deviation is sum of d square divided by n whole square, whole under root. Okay. So this is how we calculate the standard deviation. So as you can see in this formula, there is an under root of sigma d square divided by n. So for this, we have to first calculate the value of d. What we have to do? First of all, we have to calculate the value of d. So the value of d is calculated with the help of mean. How we will calculate it? With the help of mean. Okay. With the help of mean. So, first of all, we have to calculate the mean, and with the help of mean, we calculate the value of d. So, how we will calculate the value of d? So, d is basically x minus x bar. X minus x bar. And x bar is mean. Okay, so this is how we calculate the value of d. First of all, we have to calculate the arithmetic mean for given series. After that, we have to calculate the value of d. For calculating the value of d, the formula is x minus x bar. Okay, and x bar is mean. I have already told you that we denote mean with the sign of x bar. Okay, after calculating d, we will do the d square, calculate d square. After that, we calculate the sum of d square, sum of d square. Okay, after calculating d sum of d square, we will put all the value in the given formula, which is sigma d square divided by n, and n is sum of observation, sum of total number of observation, that is n. So this is how we calculate the standard deviation. Also, we denote standard deviation with the sign of sigma. Okay. After calculating standard deviation, we calculate the coefficient of standard deviation. Okay. So formula for calculating coefficient of standard deviation is very simple. It is standard deviation divided by mean. Mean sigma divided by x bar. Sigma divided by x bar, which is standard deviation divided by mean. The formula of coefficient of standard deviation is similar like we did in calculating coefficient of mean deviation. In coefficient of mean deviation, formula is mean deviation divided by mean, and coefficient of standard deviation is standard deviation divided by mean. So this is how we calculate the standard deviation and coefficient of standard deviation. Now let's understand this with the help of numerical question. So this is the question basically in which we have to calculate the standard deviation and its coefficient from the following data. So the data is given which is 25, 34, 48, 36, 42, 70, 30, 60, 45 and 50. So the data is given in individual series. Okay. So for this individual series, we have to calculate the standard deviation, and after calculating standard deviation we will calculate coefficient of standard deviation. So what we have to do first is we have to calculate the basically we have to calculate the mean. With the help of mean we calculate standard deviation. Okay. So first of all, we have to calculate mean. So formula for calculating mean in discrete individual series is equal to sigma x divided by n. Okay, so x is already given. So what we have to do, we have to do this sum of all the value of x. If we have to do the sum of all the value, then it is, let me calculate it first. It is 25 plus 34 plus 48 plus 36. After that we have to plus 42, then plus 70. After that plus 30, again plus 60, plus 45, and in last plus 50. So the total of x, or you can say the sum of x, is 440. The sum of x is 440. 440. Okay, sum of x is 440, and n, which is total number of items. So in this given question, total number of items are 10. You can say the total number of x are 10, which is the value of n. Okay, so value of n is 10. So now put this value of n in the given formula. So 440 divided by n is, answer is 44. So value of mean, answer of mean x bar is equal to 44. Now with the help of mean we calculate the value of d, which is x minus, x minus x bar. What is the value? X minus x bar. Okay. Now let me remove this first. So let me write it here first. Mean is equal to 44. Okay, so this is the answer of mean, and with the help of this mean we will calculate the value of dx. Okay, So now what we have to do? We have to subtract x minus x bar. So these value 25 minus 44, 34 minus 44. So this is how we calculate the value of x minus x bar. Now let's first calculate all the value. So what we have to do? 25 minus 44, that is minus 90. So while calculating D, we will consider the sign of minus. Okay. Uh, what I have told you that when we calculate mean deviation, we will ignore the sign of plus and minus. Okay. So this sign of plus and minus is ignored while calculating mean deviation. Okay. Rest we will consider all the sign in while doing the calculation. This is minus 10. Now 48 minus 44. So this is 4, which is in plus. Again 36 minus 44. This is minus 8 basically. Okay. So 36 minus 44, basically it is minus 8. Now 42 minus 44, it is minus 2. Now 44 minus 70, it is 26. 30 minus 44, it is minus 6. Again 60 minus 44 is 16. It is 40. Okay. Now 45 minus 44, it is 1. Again 50 minus 44 is 6. Okay, so this is how we calculate the value of D. Now with the help of this D, we will calculate the value of D square. Let me calculate D square. Let me first remove this all. Okay. Now, as minus 19 into minus 19, it will become plus 361. It will become plus 361. Okay. Minus, when we do the multiplication of minus and minus, it will become plus. Okay. So now minus 10 into minus 10, it will become 100. 4 into 4, it is 16, and 8 into 8, it is 64. Again minus into minus, it will become plus. 2 into 2, it is 4. Now 26 into 26, 26 into 26, it will become 676. Okay, 676. Now 14 into 14, it is 196. After that 16 into 16 is 256. Okay, 1 into 1 is 1 and 6 into 6 is 36. Okay, sorry, there is a mistake. One is 1 and 6 into 6 is 36. Okay, so this is how we calculate the value of D square. Now what we have to do? We have to do the sum of D square. Sum of D square. So we have to do the total. We have to add all these value of D square, so that we can get the value of sum of D square, sigma or summation D square. So 361 plus 100 plus 16 plus 64 plus 4, after that plus 676 plus 196, then plus 256 plus 1 and plus 36. So total is 1710. Answer is 1710. So this is how we calculate the value of d square. Okay, so this is the value of d square. Now what we have to do, as we have discussed, the formula of standard deviation is equal to under root sum of d square divided by n. Okay, 1710 divided by the value of n, we have already calculated while calculating the mean, which is 10, which is 10. So what we have to do? So here we have to calculate the standard deviation. So let's calculate it with the help of calculator. So what we have to do is we have to first divided 1710 by 10. So what we get, the answer is 171. So when we under root the 171, the answer will be 13.07. 13.07. So standard deviation is equal to 13.07. Okay, so this will be the answer of standard deviation, and mean, answer of mean we have already calculated, which is 44, and standard deviation is 13.07. Now what we have to do is we have to calculate coefficient of standard deviation. Coefficient of standard deviation is equal to standard deviation divided by mean. Okay, so this is the formula for calculating coefficient of standard deviation. So value of standard deviation is 13.07 and divided it by mean, the value of mean is 44. Let me calculate the value first. 13.07 divided by 44. So the answer is 0.297. Answer is 0.297. 0.297. Okay, so this is how we calculate the value of mean after that standard deviation. So this is how we calculate all the value, mean, standard deviation and coefficient of standard deviation. So what we have to do first? First of all, we have to calculate the mean. So the method of calculating mean is similar what we have studied in arithmetic mean. In the chapter of central tendency, we have calculated arithmetic mean for all the series, discrete series, continuous series, and individual series. So, in while calculating mean deviation and standard deviation, we have to first calculate the mean average of the given series. So the method of calculating mean is similar what we have studied in the chapter of central tendency. So the formula of calculating mean is similar. So when we calculate, so while calculating standard deviation, first of all we have to calculate the mean of a given series. After that, we will calculate the value of d. So the method of calculating d is x minus x bar. X bar is mean. Okay, we denote mean with the symbol of x bar. So x minus mean is the value of d. After calculating the value of d, we calculate the d square. After doing d square, we will calculate the sum of d square. After that, we will put all the value, sum of d square and n, value of n in the formula of standard deviation, which is also denoted with the sign of sigma. After calculating standard deviation, we will calculate coefficient of standard deviation. The formula of calculating coefficient of standard deviation is standard deviation divided by mean. Okay, so this is how we calculate standard deviation and coefficient of standard deviation.